Alright guys, welcome to the director's cut of Beers and Breakevens, Las Vegas. Day 2 for me, Timmy's on about day 3. How are we feeling, mate?
Look, it was all business early on. We got a bit excited last night though. So business sort of went out the back door from about 11 p.m. Vegas time. We found a bit of form.
Yeah, we did. Me and Kat, Jimmy the Jet behind the camera, we went for dinner at 9:15 last night, and I thought this is perfect. Dinner, one beer, go home. I wandered in the door at 5 a.m. Had a little bit of a blowout, you could say, a rugby league blowout. And we sat down at the roulette table.
Blackjack.
Well, we were at roulette.
Yeah.
Fuck, we got hot on roulette. It was such a hot start, it was a bad start. I think it lured me into a false sense of security that I was bulletproof. And it was just downhill from there.
Well, how it played out was, we're in a syndicate, a bit of a syndo.
Love a syndo.
You mean a mate. I had an early winner, then you went, let's just roll it, all our winnings. Myself and our other mate, very nervous, bang, won. Went around the team, same thing. I won a smaller one, you went roll it, won again. Did not think we could lose from there. Plot twist.
We heaps could fucking lose
we
from
did.
there, and we did. Tough little evening.
However,
yeah.
then we went to Blackjack.
Yes, we did go to Blackjack. Oh my God, get that. My man is killing it.
Oh my God, he's coming.
Yes. Can you play a song for him?
What's that?
Can you play a song for him?
No clue what you just said.
You play a song for him, it's his
Yeah.
birthday.
Okay, so what do you want to hear?
Do you have the Canberra Raiders theme song? No.
What is that?
Oh, don't worry about it. Thanks, mate. How much is the box?
Like $500.
Cheers, mate. All good, mate.
Bitch, I get happy when I
Have a good day. Nice to see you.
I'm full of dope boy, man. I don't give a fuck about never getting paid.
I don't know what the fuck that was, but that was certainly an experience. Vegas, how good?
Blackjack.
Blackjack last night. You're sort of the master of the domain when it comes to Blackjack. Talk to us.
You backed me.
I did back you,
Yeah, which I appreciated.
Yeah.
Went on one of the great heaters. Probably one of the best nights I've had in a Cass. I was in a syndicate though, so I was sharing it with this idiot.
Wasn't doing too badly, but you were flying.
You weren't doing too bad, but just the confidence in the bloke. You're like, you watch a Blackjack first, or closest to 21, get to 19, Guru's like, hit me, it's a king, 29, fold. Oh, shock. Anyway, carried the team, and we ended up remarkably on top.
Yeah, what do we got left? What are we looking at?
Oh, I've got some chips back in the room, they're scattered, so we'll have to reassess that.
Yeah, good first night though. Last time I was here for a week. I did not win a hand, a slap. I didn't win fucking shit the entire week. So, an exciting start.
Need to roll it into SuperCoach round 1.
We do. Which brings us to Beers and Breakevens. Timmy, before we get stuck in the major episode, what's your biggest headache as we head into the Vegas games?
We get to the Warriors cheapies shortly, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to go Tom Duffy, which is huge because it means I drop one of Cleary or Hind, which also means I free up 600k to spend around my squad, which just allows me to do whatever I want. I'm feeling nervous but better and better and better about doing that. But yeah, what to do with the money? What are you thinking?
I am going to go Tom Duffy. I'm a big fan. I'm happy to start with him. We'll save our halfback conversation for the actual show because that'll be a cracker. I'm thinking Haliasima coming off the bench for me. And maybe Dimitrik as well. I'm thinking both. I'm leaning away from Aaron Clark at the moment.
Yeah, I was never really keen on Aaron Clark. I don't know why. I've had people like, got a starting role, might get decent minutes, but they picked a 4-forward bench, the Warriors, for starters, which is concerning because it means, how many minutes is he going to play? Dylan Walker's one man on that bench. He'll still play 50 to 60. I think Aaron Clark is probably a trap. Looking at cheapies, what you've got to lean in terms of Omega and Halasima. You're going to lean to Halasima?
I think I'm leaning towards him, but I think there's every chance I potentially start with both. We'll have a better idea of minutes, hopefully, for you guys on Beers and Breakevens. We'll send a few texts and whatnot, but I think there's a world where I go both, potentially. What do you think?
4-forward bench makes me nervous. Jacob Laban, nowhere to be seen, makes me nervous. Especially like if Laban comes in at any point, plays off the bench or starts. That's minutes on the edge, which means Murata Niakora probably spends time in the middle. How many minutes are there to go around?
Yeah, very fair, very fair. Maybe just one of them. I don't know yet. Halasima would be my pick of the two.
I hear you, and you're also backflipping on Greg the Leg with me, mate.
I'm considering a backflip. I'm not afraid. Hey, look, the difference between me and Tim in SuperCoach, it's not about being right, it's about getting it right. And that's the huge difference. And I'm in the getting it right business, and I'll cop all the shit fuckery I need to. But I'm just in the trophies business, and I'd love for you to enter the game soon.
The difference between us is that I can't follow myself. You can.
Fuck you. It's going to be a big day. We're going to head back to the hotel very soon, and we're getting ourselves geared up for a big episode. We'll send some B-roll your way.
All right, guys, welcome back to Beers and Breakevens, coming to you live from Sin City, Las Vegas. And I'll give you the hot tip. The boys sinned. Oh, boy. Last night, biggin'.
We gave it a nudge, mate.
Yeah.
It was tough twisting your arm. You were going home for an early night with Kat.
Yeah.
Kat and James was over here as well. And I said, oh, mate, one more. And one more turned into, about 5-6 hours later?
Yeah, got home at about 5 a.m, so that was a good knock. We booked dinner for 9:15 last night. Wasn't meant to be. Anyway, can't win them all. Like to win a few more, though. Go to, guys, if you want to go and have a look at the director's cut of today's episode, go to YouTube. If you're listening on the podcast, go over to YouTube. You can watch. We've got a bit of extra content in there and whatnot. Very, very exciting over there. Now, we have got a big announcement.
We do.
For season 2025. We're very, very happy to announce we've got a new major sponsor for the show, Lawntel. You can see their logo here, this little bad boy in between us. Lawntel, an internet provider. They've come on board. They've already hooked me up in the studio, Timmy, and mate, it's absolutely flying in there. Kat's I don't know what she does with all of her spare time now. Everything's uploading in an instant. We're flying around. You know what the beauty is, Timmy, that I absolutely love? I'm in Vegas right now, so no one's using the internet at the studio. I can literally flick it off and not pay for it in this time. On the weekend, I flick it off, I don't pay for it. It is fantastic. Lawntel's the provider, a little bit more expensive than your average, but you're able to switch it off whenever you want and then turn it back on when you're actually using it, which is a game changer for me.
And also the quickest internet in Australia. It is remarkable, mate. So yeah, very grateful to Lawntel for coming on board and supporting the show as the new major sponsor in 2025. Anyone that has ever used the internet for work, you use the internet speed test. Google internet speed test, bang, and it sort of gives you this little monitor and it shows you how quick your internet is. And as people who do content, we're uploading videos all the time, you just realise how freaking slow it is in Australia. I did it the other day after they hooked me up at home as well. Mate, it nearly burst the radar thing open. My laptop nearly exploded. It is so quick.
Guys, we could not advise more, so we'll have more details over the next few weeks, but Lawntel on board for season 2025, Beers and Breakevens. Plenty of exciting things coming your way, and you'll see this bad boy getting into its work as well. So very, very exciting. Shout out to the team. As I said, more details to come over the next few weeks. All right, Timbo, are we Team List Tuesdaying?
Mate, we're here for business.
Yeah,
we're not here for leisure.
BIZNESS.
Yeah, serious stuff. Yes, we did double at Blackjack and a few other tables last night, but we're here for business, we're here for work, we're here to talk SuperCoach and get our round one teams going, and we have team lists. So
We do. Four teams, 2 games this weekend. We've got the Canberra Raiders taking on the New Zealand Warriors, and then the Penny Panthers and the Cronulla Sharks. So from the Raiders, their team list, talking points, obviously Tamale has been named on the Sting. We have got Corey Horsburgh. Thank you. A gift from above, starting in the front row. We love to see it. Zach Hosking named on the edge. Good-looking rooster. Owen Paddy. Jersey 14. Brace yourself. We'll talk about him very soon. Mate, when it comes to that Raiders side, there's a lot to unpack as far as a Supercoach point of view. I want to start with Tamale. I love him as a footballer. I'm a little bit concerned about him as a Supercoach player. Talk to me. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I don't love him, and it looks as though there's probably some relatively decent CT dub cheapies emerging for round 1, which is handy. So he's 232k, so the price is good. He's starting, but Albert Hopewade is missing the Vegas game due to he's a child birth incoming, and I think Hopewade probably comes back into that spot for round 2 in a couple of weeks' time. The issue on top of that, though, it's all good and well having a cheap with good job security and whatnot, but they've still got to score points. Like, just because they're playing doesn't mean they're going to score well. Tamale, I have a concern on that left edge just with Ethan Strange at 5'8". Really good footballer, but he's really good ball running 5'8".
Yeah.
I just don't know if that left edge is going to get a lot of opportunity and a lot of attacking opportunities. And I might be wrong. Their wingers, he could score 3 in Vegas. He might not touch the ball in the opposition 20, but I think he's going to be starved of good attacking ball, and I just don't think he's going to score that well. I am looking to avoid.
Yeah, I think just to add to Timmy's point, you have got Strange, Huddy, Seb Chris. They're all run first guys.
Exactly.
If it was a different situation, I knew Tamale was going to get ball, I'd actually be very interested because I think he's going to have a lot of tackle breaks, all the stuff we love for Supercoach. But it is Hopewade, and I thought that Hopper in the trials, every game he's played, has been excellent. He's been very impressive.
Ricky seems to love him as well.
He loves him. Yeah. So, yeah, Tamale is currently at 27%. I think there is trap potential there, big trap potential.
Yeah, I mean, look, as I said, CT dub, cheapy, it is what it is. It's risk-free reward. I don't think he's a bad buy by any means. However, I'm willing to just sit there and watch him. If he scores a few tries in the first 2 rounds, wins that spot, he'd be an easy trade in. But on the flip side of it, he might get dropped next week. He could score 20 in Vegas. Who knows where he ends up in the pecking order in the backline at the Raiders. I just think there are enough red flags for me to go, you know what, there's people with better job security, better scoring potential, so he's an avoid for me.
Yep. Let's talk Big Red. Corey Horsburgh, obviously been named in the starting side. Very exciting to see. You caught up with him a few weeks ago, and he sort of alluded to this. He's feeling good. He's ready to rip and tear. Very exciting. I think Corey is a must-have, personally.
Near enough. Yeah, in a pretty ordinary, I shouldn't say pretty ordinary. The front row 4 position is not too bad this year. There's a bit of value there at the start of the season. So, yeah, I think the Red Dog, I said, spoke a few weeks ago, and he was just so up and about. He admitted that last year probably didn't go as planned, but good footballer. We've seen him at rep level do some good things, and just so cheap. $355K to start the season, averaged 45 last year in 44 minutes per game. Played 5 games. He's priced on a 36-point average. Go to 2023, he averaged 62. He's looking as fit as he's ever looked, like comfortably. I think he's a must-have as well.
Yeah, and full credit to Corey. Ownership 51%, Terrell May at 50.
There you go.
How good's that? You'll love to see it. Corey Horsburgh, he will be locked into our size, locked and loaded. And I'd also like to congratulate him on being selected in the draft team. Paddy and Kelmer, welcome to the side for another year. He's been there a few times, Big Red. He's one of my little faves.
The Red Dog. How
good. Okay, Zach Hosking named on the edge, which doesn't really shock anyone, but I think it is worth noting that the Pommy has missed the side. So if you are a Zach Hosking guy, good signs. I love Hosking. Guys coming into seasons with calf injuries, it's probably a little bit too much of a concern for me, but we will get to it. 2RF is looking so rank that maybe Hosking could be on the radar.
Yeah, I mean, I had him in my stat deep dive later, and you've gone straight in him, so thanks for that, mate. Thanks for reading the run sheet.
At all. That's fine.
Big night last night, but look, that's fine. Let's skip ahead to Tim's stat deep dive. Zach Hosking. 2RF is looking like a bit of a blood of a position all of a sudden, and we'll get to him shortly, but Isaiah Papali'i missing the starting team for the Panthers. All right, boom, line through him. He's gone. Kelma Tuolangi, we'll talk about him later as well, but pretty ordinary on the weekend in the trial. So all of a sudden, I'm sort of sitting there going, do we just pay up for some of the more proven 2RFs and not be stuck with this sort of mid-range garbage in there? Zach Ossing is one that, great footballer, great sort, we know that. Two games last season opening up. He started with 92 and 109. Ton of attacking stats in those games. 2 tries, 2 try assists. In those 2 games, though, he had a base of 47 and 48. Then had a base of 48 in a 59-minute game the following week, which is huge. He's interesting because the work rate's there. Good footballer. Pretty torrid run of injuries. He was in a lot of doubt for this game in particular as well. But I don't mind the play. I don't think I'll start with him, but I can see why people would.
I'm closer to starting with him than I thought I would be.
Yes.
All things considered. It wouldn't shock me at all if he does sneak into my side. Jersey 14, mate. One of the bigger talking points out of this team list. And Paddy. I don't need to tell you that I think he's going to be a fucking freak. It's just all Ricky's minutes. And I just don't know. If he plays 15 minutes, I won't be surprised. I know he's got the ability to play more and have a big impact on games, and he can come up with attacking stats. I don't know, I've just got this gut feel to me. Minutes is going to be an issue. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not interested in him. Obviously, a gun footballer, plenty of promise there. He said minutes, and Ricky doesn't tend to, I think, rush in his rookies. He's pretty patient with him. It says it all that, what is he, 19?
Yeah, young.
At 19, he's thrown him in at hooker for the season over in Vegas to play off the bench. I'm with you. I think he maybe gets like 20, probably 30. He might get 30 minutes, but I know he's bottom dollar. But there's also Danny Levi lurking there as well. So I just think until he's starting, I don't think you can have him because I just don't want to end up like, was Danny Levi a bit of bench fodder last year at hooker? He just couldn't get rid of that second spot. He could play 30 minutes the whole season off the bench. If he gets a starting spot at all, he could be the cheapie of the year. And if he does, I'll get him in straight away. But I don't want to start with him.
And I want to send a special message to fan of the show, Ricky Stewart. If you switch him to start and we have no reception in Allegiant Stadium, I'm going to find you and I'm going to take care of you myself. Know that. And I know Jed Stewart watches our show. So you pass the message on, mate, because I will be filthy.
I hadn't even considered that.
You need to. Yeah.
For round one.
It might be a run-out situation and,
Shit.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay.
Barnabas Rubberless.
I'll just leave the stadium for team list.
Yeah, I 100% plan to. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's move to the Wars. Talking points here. Obviously, Rog on the wing. We knew that coming. Leah Towers, very interesting in the centres. Topiki named on the wing. Got dual position during the week as well. Do you want to talk Chanel Harris-Tavita?
No.
5'8". No,
okay. It's that deep dive.
Okay,
I told
sure.
you this.
Jesus Christ.
Bloody hell.
Oh, if anyone else wants to come to Vegas next year, please put your hand up. Who do you want to talk about, buddy?
I mean, we can go to wherever we want. I'll go to Chanel Harris-Tavita now.
I was going to start deep dive, but...
Oh, here we go. Mate, interesting one. Beat out Tamari Martin for that spot. Good halves depth. 330k to start the year at 5'8", which there's a few decent options there, but if we're looking at genuine value, he's one that you're right, he's probably underpriced. What do you have? You've rushed me here. 7 80-minute games last season. He averaged 56.71, which is awesome. Get this, that included a score of 8 in that time. That 56 average included an 8. That was in an 88-minute game against the Dogs. So, I mean, you can't completely just disregard that, but you take that out and it goes to like 64 or 65 or something. He could be value.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, he is value, but the question mark is job security.
Yeah. Yeah, Tamari Martin could come in at any moment. Tanner Boyd is going to be available soon, hopefully. So, yeah, I'm going to look elsewhere at 5'8". I can see this one being in 5 weeks' time going.
Shit.
Yeah.
I don't think it's crash hot 5'8". I'll just be both big on Luke Metcalf. I'm very, very happy with him. So I'm just thinking whoever the second 5'8" is, or if Metcalf, struggles early on, it's an easy move to him at 330k. If he does come out and kill it the first 2 rounds, he's about to make a ton of money. But yeah, I wouldn't gamble on him to start, but I mean, there's merit if you're backing him.
All right, Jersey 13, Aaron Clark, as we expected. How are we feeling about him, mate? I have my concerns around the minutes he will play. I think he's a bit of a trap. Where do you sit?
I think he's a trap as well. He averaged 39 minutes per game last season, averaged 40 points per game. He scored at a point per minute last year, or a slight tick over. Every year prior to that, he's never scored it over a point per minute. Good footballer. Like, I know you in particular are a big fan of him, but like, Dylan Walker's on the bench.
Yep.
Dylan Walker averaged, I think, 60 minutes last year. He'll play 50 to 60 off the bench. He's coming on through the middle. Like, even if Aaron Clark probably has an uptick in minutes, maybe gets to 50, maybe does get to 60, but does that mean there's going to be any value there? Slightly, but
I'm pretty confident in saying he won't get 60 minutes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't surprise me if he gets less than 50.
Yeah, I feel a trap.
Yeah. Mate, the more I thought about this the other day, I think he's just going to be Jazz all over again. I think he's going to play the exact same role, and I just don't think he's going to be as relevant as people think.
Is he... Well, the other one in this team, I'm not going to start him, but another one of your boys, Wade Egan. Wade Egan just plays 80 and there's no backup hooker because they had Lussick, I think it was last year at times.
Yeah, I would assume Aaron Clark is the backup hooker if something happens. Like Dill could obviously jump in there as well, but I would say their plan would be around Aaron Clark. You got Sam Healy in jersey 18. I think he'll be a part of the side eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would assume they'd be thinking Aaron Clark would be our guy there.
Yeah.
Which he played hooker at the Titans a couple of years ago, and I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
He's actually Jazz all over to me. He gets stuck at hooker sometimes, and I hate it. And then when he just plays a middle forward, he's got good leg speed. All right, let's move to the bench, mate. The two young fellas, Valmalga and Haliasima, who I think you have to at least have one of these. I think there's a world where you can have two of them, but you made a really good point this morning.
Yeah, 4-forward bench. Jacob Laybaum was the big omission here. One that I certainly had in my team. Expected him to potentially start on the edge for them, but they've gone with Niokora and Capewell. It's just hard, mate. Like, again, Aaron Clark might get 40, 50, potentially, probably not 60, but Dylan Walker plays big minutes. Jackson Ford will play essentially as a front rower, I think, but Valmalga, Haliasima, you're just gambling on who gets the minutes. Then does Jacob Laybaum come in at any point? I don't think he's in Vegas. You know, Bunty Foles on the bench. They're both cheap. I think they're, 232K?
Yep.
Just which one?
I'm going Lecker. I think he's the better of the two. I'm going to go with him. I think the advantage of these two, Tim, which is the only reason why I can understand if you want to run with both of them, is that, not that minutes aren't important, but I think they'll get their points from their tackle breaks. And
they're beasts.
Yes. So they'll stack up points quickly. And if they can just come up with one attacking stat in the first month, we're flying all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's it. I'm with you. I don't think they need big minutes. And, like, they're big, they're robust. I think there'll hopefully be a handful of offloads. But, yeah, if you tackle bust there, it's just getting the right one. And it feels like a bit of a coin toss.
Which one are you leaning towards at the moment?
I don't have a lean right now.
Yeah, okay.
I know someone who's going out and doing a bit with the Warriors this afternoon. I'm hoping that he'll sort of get us a bit of insight.
Yes, well, I'll let you know if you start to be nice to me. Keep fucking yelling at me. Okay, let's move to the next game. We've got the Panthers and the Cronulla Sharks. For the Penny Panthers, there's a bit doing here. Casey McLean named on the wing. Luke Garner in the centres. Paul Alamotti on the wing. Now, I've heard this week that Paul Alamotti is very 50-50 whether he plays this. I was told on Monday that the McLeans would both be on the wings and Garner would be at centre. So I'm sort of expecting Alamotti to fall out of this side. Jack Cole's been named at 5'8". I've been told this is a defensive decision from the Penrith Panthers. Not that I think Jack Cole's pretty expensive, up some decent scores last week and whatnot, but obviously Blaze is out. But I think Blaze will be back next week, which will be an interesting little pod play in times to come.
Yeah.
Let's talk McLean's. Now, Jesse, not on the side right now. I think that he will play in Vegas. If not, well, I mean, I guess this is the question to me. We've been saying for a while he's one injury away. Does Garner being named in the centres, does that concern you?
Friggin' oath it does.
Yeah.
I was willing to start with Jesse McLean on the knowledge that he's probably one injury away. Obviously, no Brian Toto with that hamstring injury. Toto's due back probably round 2.
Yep.
Maybe slightly later, but not far away. So if they run out this team, Jesse McLean's potentially 2 away. I don't want to pick him if he's 2 injuries away. If he's 1 away, I'm like, cool, there'll be an injury or something at some point. He'll get his chance. Comes into a gun back line at, I think he's, 232K as well.
Yeah.
But if it stays as named, and it's a weird team to me, but as you said, they've just gone round 1, Vegas, great attacking Sharks unit, let's just go all out defence. Like, Alamotti on the wing, so I don't know. How are you feeling with McLean?
Yeah, I think he'll play this week. I think he is still one away. I think it's all, from what I've been told, it's all a defensive decision. That because they're playing the Sharkies who have so much strike out there, that's their big concern. So I still think week to week against most sides, he is next man up. But I'm not confident on that at all.
234K. Would you prefer him or Tamale?
Probably
So
Jesse.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's ranked though.
I know.
Yeah, it's
very
disgusting. But yeah.
At this stage, let's say they run out as named.
Yeah.
Pick or avoid?
I probably think I'll pick at the moment.
I think I'll avoid if they run out as named.
Mm.
If he comes in, he'll be in my team.
That'll also be one that we're going to have to watch, and that's going to be at a really bad time.
I'll leave the stadium, mate. All good.
Yeah. Okay, the bench. Isaiah Papali'i was a very popular guy during the preseason. I know we were both I know I was high on him anyway. The concern was he going to play edge or middle? He was named on the edge. I'm very interested. He has been named off the bench in the middle. That sort of puts a wet blanket over this for me. What do you think?
Yeah. Getting sort of named in that first trial in a relatively weak squad was a bit of an early red flag. And the thing is, he's not priced on a 40-point average ever. Like, he's still fairly expensive. He's priced on, I think, a 59-point average this season. So I think you just put a line straight through him. And then if at some point he becomes an 80-minute back rower, sweet. The other thing is, he comes in, he'd play on that left edge outside Jack Cole, and then maybe it's Blaze Talangi, new combinations. Cleary's going to get the vast majority of the attacking ball on the right edge. It's not that great a role anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, unless he was guaranteed an 80-minute edge role, yeah, not for me anymore.
Anyone else on the Panthers you want to talk about, mate? We've obviously got two very good halfbacks in this game. We'll get to them a little bit later. Anyone else Panthers you want to talk about?
No, all sweet, mate.
Sharkies. Obviously, Sam Stonestreet's pretty expensive. He's been named on the wing to replace Katoa. Interesting little pod play. I've had a few people message me. It's not for me, but I do think he is very talented. I obviously didn't have the best trial form in the world, but he's going to get plenty of opportunities there. Mate, I think the biggest talking point here is the Sharkies bench. Dan Atkinson has been named there, which is good to see, but I think it's the domino effect on big AFB. I'm not starting with him. I sort of want to have a look at him at the Sharkies first, but if you are looking to start with AFB, if you were considering it, and then you got that 3-forward bench, it's probably the green light, isn't it?
Yeah, just quickly on Stone Street, averaged 65 in his 5 games last season, but he scored 8 tries.
Yeah, but...
No, I'm saying no. Like,
Yeah.
that was with a shit ton of tries. So the tries have to come. Pretty big body. I mean, he's a tall unit.
Yeah, he's
going to be really good Yeah, I think he's going to be a really good footballer, or he is. Base was like 24 per game last year. So not for me. And yeah, for those wanting AFB, great sign with that bench and going Atkinson, because we know Craig Fitzgibbon in the past had gone with 4-forward benches quite often. So the chat that maybe the minutes drop a little bit. I think he averaged 60 minutes per game last season. I think he'll get his 60 minutes now that Atkinson's on the bench. So if you wanted him, I'd lock him in.
Yeah.
Not for me. I'm not paying up for him. I like more value at front row. But yeah.
I think as well, on top of Atkinson, mate, like Hamlin Wellows it there. Like, he's not a big minute guy. He'll be 25 minutes, I'd say. So, yeah, in a good spot there if you're an AFB guy. All right, anything else on TLT, mate?
I think we've got through the good stuff, mate.
All right, let's have a look at the halfback debate. Probably the biggest decision you have to make heading into Vegas. We've sort of got the Cleary or Hines, or Cleary and Hines. We've got Tom Duffy floating around. I guess, should we just dive straight into Cleary and Hines, mate?
Yeah, well, just firstly, Tom Duffy. He's made our way into our teams.
Yep.
I just think bottom dollar, goal-kicking half, Cowboys, their attack was really good in the trial, win over the Storm. I just think if he comes out and scores well the first 2 weeks, people are going to be scrambling to get him that started with Nico and Cleary. So couldn't go the other way. He could be dropped by around 2 or 3 and Clifford comes in and you're left with that. But in which case, you look for another option, someone doing well. You can move Sandon Smith from hooker down to halfback, get a hooker who's doing well.
Yeah.
There are options. You can bring the flex into play as well. A lot of people are running 3 fullbacks. But, yeah, I want Tom Duffy.
Yeah, I spoke to senior player at the Cowboys last week and wouldn't tell me who was going to be the halfback, but said that Duffy has really impressed them up there. So I would say after playing in that trial, goal kicking in the first half, he did the vast majority of the kicking in that game over Dearden. So, yeah, I think not starting with Duffy, people are going to regret it, personally.
Is there? I mean, there are other halfback options next week. It's not like it has to be Cleary and Hines, but like, is there a world where we get to next week and Clifford's just been put on ice because of niggles and waiting for round one, and he comes in and Duffy doesn't play, or like?
Oh yeah, fucking earth, there's a world.
That'd
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, exactly. But and I mean, that would suck. That'd be atrocious. But I'm gonna just back in what I saw in that trial, that he was the main guy. He's been the main guy all preseason. I'd be very surprised, mate, if he's the 7 for the entire preseason. First trial does very well, and then they go, let's just ship Jake.
I agree. I'm with you. Yeah.
It's not like, and if you have a look at who's actually like. Jake Clifford only arrived, he only sort of came into the first grade system the back end of last year. Like, he probably hasn't really done that much, all that crazy more reps than what Tom Duffy has over the last year or so. He's been around the entire time. So
I think it'll be Duffy.
I think it'll be Duffy too, yeah. As far as Cleary Hines, I am going Nath Cleary. I'm just going to back in the pedigree. I do think, though, this weekend, I reckon the Sharkies do a little bit of a number on this Panthers side. So that has me very nervous about it. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. What makes you say that?
I think Penrith always tend to start slow. I think that Penrith, they haven't had a trial yet, which I think is a big call. This is literally their first hit out on the other side of the world, without Luai, without Fish.
Light on the edges.
And I think you can see by their decisions, they know they're light on the edges as well. I don't know. And I just think, mate, the Sharkies, they're just going to be up and about. I think there's some games that mean more to certain teams than others. And I think if the Sharkies can start this season with AFB, we knock over the 4-time premiers. Everyone says we can't win big games. I just think it'll mean a lot to them.
Yeah, what an opening. In fact, what a great game it's going to be. I'm leaning towards Nicho Hines over Cleary.
Yeah.
Makes me super nervous, but as would not only Nicho, to be fair. I'm just...
Yeah, I'm nervous as shit, not only.
Yeah. I did an SC Playbook subscriber podcast yesterday, and I did a real deep dive into these two and a bunch of different factors, weighing him up, and did it for my own benefit because I was trying to work it all out. And I just sort of ended up on that he's 76k cheaper. And going back through averages in recent years, Nicho 75 points per game last year, Cleary 83 points per game. 2023, Nicho averaged 95, Cleary was 89. 2022, Nicho was 86, Cleary was 80. He averaged 6 better than in both those seasons. Last year, I know Cleary had his injury troubles too, but I think he played all 80-minute games. I think Nicho was impacted by that calf injury that we've spoken about a fair bit this pre-season. So I think there's a reason for that downer. I look at the Panthers and I go, the question marks you had around them early on in the season, the post-Fisher-Harris, Luai era, do they eventually run out of steam? Do eventually injuries hit? Then I look at the Sharks and go, they've got a fully fit roster, minus Sione Katoa. They're on the up. They had Adam Fanua-Blake, who's just, the ruck speed through the middle is going to be relentless. I think Nicho off the back of that, I think it's Nicho.
Yeah, fair. No, I'm not pushing back on you. I'm just going to start with Nath. I just think he's the best player in the Supercoach, so I'm going to run with him. But the longer it's gone, I 100% get people starting with Hines. I also think the start of this season, mate, like Penrith, even playing at this stadium, like a little bit smaller and everything, like, geez, they're going to miss Toto. He's such a huge out for them.
Huge out for them.
Wild.
So, like, if they're the same price, that I'd probably go, all right, I just back the pedigree of Nathan Cleary and being the best player in the world. But they're not. 76k difference to go, that's enough for me to go, I think Nicho is the value play here.
Yeah, fair shout. All right, should we finish off our stats deep dive, the guys that are left?
Yeah, is there anyone on there?
Let's kick off with our good mate Jack Goz. He's obviously jumped into relevance up there at the Brisbane Broncos. I think Jack Goz, from a Supercoach point of view, mate, I think he was born with trap tattooed on his forehead. He's done it a few times to me, and I think he's going to do it again here. I can't see him holding Brendan Pinkura out of that team long term, personally.
I think he's trapped too. It's just, like, even if he does keep that starting spot, Pinkura, he'll join the bench at some point. Whether that's round 1, whether that's round 2, whether that's round 6 or 7, I don't know. But I think he'll be there at some stage. He's going to come on and play on the edge. He's not going to play through the middle. Jordan Rickey's going to play 80, so I just think he comes on and will take minutes off him. Gajewski, his past 4 seasons, his PPM's been at 0.6 to 0.69 per minute, very poor. 7 games in 2023, he averaged 69 minutes per game, he averaged 44 points. Yeah. So he's cheap, could be an 80-minute back rower. I'm just like, if he comes out the first 2 rounds and he plays great, scores well, has a negative 30 break even or something, we go, no, you know what, we were wrong, and he's improved, he looks the goods, and he can win this spot, I'll buy him at 232k, and I guarantee I'll be making trades around 2RF by round 3 because I think there are question marks over just about everyone. So I'm like, there's going to be an easy in for him, but you could get stuck with him very quickly. So not for me.
Yeah, fair shout. Connor Watson's the next man on our list, obviously playing hooker for the Chooks. They looked dreadful the other day. Maybe it's like a training loading thing. I hope so, because, very disappointing from the Chooks. Connor Watson worked his dick off in the middle, got through a heap of work. He actually, I don't know how the hell this happens in a trial, but he finished the game at left centre in a trial. It's blown my mind. But anyway, I'm starting with Connor Watson. I've had him in there the last few weeks. I'm feeling pretty confident. I just think, I don't think they can afford to carry a hooker on the bench. I don't think they've got enough punch in their pack as it is. I think he gets through big minutes. I think the attacking stats might lack a little bit this year, but I just think workload, and he'll come up with stats here and there. I'm happy to start with Connor.
Yeah, the Roosters' poor trial form actually makes me feel better about Connor because I'm like, they were pretty lackluster in attack. Granted, it's only a trial. We know, don't read into it too much, but just like, he's probably going to have a bigger role in attack, I think, and play big minutes, as you said. 4 starting games at hooker last season, all 70-plus minutes. He averaged 62.25 per game. Big one, that was 55.75 base per game in those. So the base will be there. He had bugger all attack in those games. We know he's got attacking stats in him. I think he's a good buy, and I'm keen to start with him. He's a hell of a long way from a must. There are a lot of decent options at hooker, but I'm keen enough on him.
Yeah, fair shout. Kelman Tuolangi, mate, so high on this dude all preseason. I thought he'd really turn the corner at the trial the other day. Disinterested is probably the word I would use. He had 1 run, he missed about 8 tackles. He was just all over the place. I genuinely think there's a good chance he's played himself out of that position for the Eels, or played himself into lesser minutes, I think.
He scored that great try and looked good in the first trial. Went sweet, 1 less headache, and just very ordinary in that trial. And I've mentioned his numbers before, but he's priced on a 44-point average from 51 minutes per game last year. In his 6 games of 70-plus minutes, he averaged 65.67. I just worry about job security now off the back of that. And I look at Sean Lane coming back from injury. Where does he slot in? Is he an edge this year or a middle? I don't know. Ryan Madison's there. Bryce Cartwright's there. It just worries me a lot. The other one, obviously, sounds like Kidione Katonga might start as well, the former Bulldog. He's near bottom dollar as well.
Yeah.
Do you look at Katonga instead? What's your vibe? But I'm definitely going a bit cold on Kelma, but there's a lot of great mid-range options to RF.
Yeah, and you know what, mate? The one thing to his advantage, I think kid from Canterbury will get that left edge spot. The right edge spot, I thought Kelman was so bad he played himself out of position, but I think it's pretty evident from the way he's picking his trial teams and guys he's given opportunities to. He doesn't seem to be overly keen on Madison or Cartwright either. So I just wonder if Kelman could be the best of an average bunch that maybe. But it's not enough. I think it's just a spot I'd rather avoid.
Potentially being the best of an average bunch doesn't give you job security though, does it?
No, it doesn't. No.
So Katoga has 232k. If he's named to start next week, you're just putting him in, or?
I think so. At that price,
He's a devastating ball runner. I think there'll be a few defensive deficiencies, so job security is going to be poor. But as I said, with a few issues, or put it this way, pardon me, you can have Katonga there at 232, or like a Halasina or someone. You may have a 60 to 80 minute edge back rower running off Dill Brown as well. Yep. Great spot to be. Or a potentially 20 to 30 minute bench forward at the Warriors. So it's like, I think you probably just take the gamble on the upside.
Yeah, for sure. And
Not to say you can't have both, but like,
Yeah, and I think people would be concerned about Sean Lane returning. meant to be in round 3 or round 4. It's not like Sean Lane's going to return and play 80 minutes on the edge. He's going to ease back in. So I think you'll get at least 4 or 5 weeks. If he's named next week, the young fella, I think you'll get at least 4 or 5 weeks out of him. Yeah. Which will probably make it worthwhile. All right. Now, our lead code, we announced it last week, guys. 295466. So make sure you go in there and join. Bluewealth Property are back on once again for season 2025. The boys are back and they've provided $5,000 once again for you guys. So absolutely unreal. If you come second out of 160,000, you win 5K, or you can just beat the people in the Beers and Breakevens League. So shout out to Bluewealth Property. They're back on board. The link is down below. Mate, the rate of interest of Beers and Breakevens is skyrocketing, but interest rates dropping.
Oh, jeez. That wasn't even rehearsed.
Off the dome.
The interest rates have dropped.
How good.
I mentioned this on a podcast the other day, and some bloke roasted me in the YouTube comments going, mate, why would we take financial advice from you? I'm like, don't. I'm like, that's the point.
Ring them.
Yeah, have a chat to Tony and Mortz at Bluewealth. Mortz is actually over here in Vegas, so we're meeting up with him for a beer as well.
I think I saw him in a gutter last night.
Yeah, look at
enjoying himself.
But yeah, big thanks to Bluewealth for, again, supporting us for 3rd or 4th year now, so very grateful.
Absolutely unreal. So guys, make sure you come and join. The code $5,000 are provided by Bluewealth Property. 295466. All right, Timmy, let's bring her home.
All right.
El Capitanos this weekend, VCs, Cs. As a non-Nico owner, I am petrified because I think the Sharkies are going to have a good game this weekend. I'm slowly starting to talk my way around. I won't because I've got too much pride in Nico.
Way too much pride.
Yeah. Talk to me about Nico.
Yeah, I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
For all your chat and confidence in the Sharkies, this is the Penrith Panthers, mate.
Bloody earth it is. Yep.
Best defensive team in the competition. They're phenomenal. So he actually doesn't interest me as a VC option. Me buying him this week against Penrith in Vegas, a thinner field, he could score 40 or 50. I'm very aware of that, and I'm okay with that. I'm thinking that their bigger scores will be to come.
Yep.
And by no means am I... Mate, if he comes down and gets 30 in a low-scoring game against Penrith in Vegas, people might panic trade. Or like people who start Nico and people start Penrith, let's say Penrith do win well, Cleary turns up, Nico gets 30. That could happen. People might flip. I'm just like, it's Vegas, it's Penrith, ignore it, move on, they'll come. So yeah, not for me. Just looking at captaincy stats...
I'm just really looking forward to our show next week, our annual Don't Freak the Fuck
show.
Can't wait for it.
As I tear my team apart. Nathan Cleary is 17.4% captain, so people done the straight C on Cleary, 18% with the VC. And then Nico Hines, he's currently at 3.7% VC, 1.3% skipper. What about you on Cleary? You've said you think you're tipping the Sharkies by the sounds of it. Any interest on the VC on Cleary? Or?
I don't think so. I think I'll try and look elsewhere. But I don't think it's a dreadful play at the same time. If I don't think I've got anything better the weekend after, I will. There's a good chance I will take it.
Well, I think we're both doing Ponga Turbo, right?
Well, that's what I want. Yes,
I think that's the play.
I think it's the play as well.
Ponga's got the Tigers at Campbelltown. Then, Turbo's got the Cowboys at Brookie.
Yeah, giddy up. Yeah, I won't be looking at Vegas for VCs and Cs realistically. I do think if you are I think that these early rounds, Tim, they tend to be a little bit more low scoring. I can see a world where you want a VC like an Adam Fanua-Blake if you have him and just lock in a good score for this week. But I would be
a straight C.
Even potentially a straight C. Like there's been years before where we've looked at these guys and they all score low in the first week, and a solid option might be the guy. It's not for me by any means, but if someone did it, I wouldn't personally think it's insane.
If I was going the AFB route, I'd be more tempted to just straight see him. He'll come out, first game for the Sharks, you get through a ton of work. If you can crash over I think he should get his 60 to 70. Again, it is Penrith, so we'll see. Yep. But it'll be solid nonetheless. And then if he can barge over for a try or an assist, that 60 to 70 could become 90 to 100 very quickly. So, not for me. I'm going high upside. But he said early on in the season, round one, he'll be safe. Yeah. To be clear, we're both on the Ponga and Turbo train. I just think you could do worse than doing that. Mate, are there any little pod VCs you got your eye on in this game? Because
I've got one. I'm serious. He's not in my team right now, but I'm trying to work out how I make it work if I can. I'm liking I thought Jesse Raymond in the trials looked very good. I think he'll have a good matchup in this game. I liked that. As I've said all offseason, I have my concerns about Trindle and about Hines, but when they played the other night, Hines looked a little bit more ball dominant. The right edge was getting a lot. I love that for Jesse Raymond. I am interested in Raymond, and I reckon there's a world where he could crash over for a try or two in this game with that matchup.
Yeah, huge. You love a bit of Raymond.
I love Raymond, yeah. Everyone loves Raymond.
Yeah, Aman talks NRL SuperCoach. A good man, Aman. And he put up a good stat the other day just around CT dub base stat beast. And Raymond? Ranked 5th last year. 51 in base and power. 37 in base. So reliable. Like I said, we're pretty high on the Sharkies. So,
yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't part for him at that price. Again, the matchup all of a sudden looks not horrible.
Not horrible.
To what we thought it might be. But, yeah, Ramian.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Outside of that, nothing else is overly jumping out at me.
No.
Yeah. All right, are we done and dusted?
Might be us done and dusted for Vegas.
Yeah, how good. So, yeah, guys, we'll be at the game on Saturday or Sunday for you guys. We'll be uploading some more content on both of our pages throughout the week, so stay tuned for that. Is there any merit to me sort of just going through what players we think we will have from Vegas as it stands, or is it a stay tuned on socials sort of?
Oh, it's a bit of both, mate. But yeah, who do you currently have from the Vegas team?
So currently, it's just loading for me. I know I've got Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. I'm going to have him in my CTWs. I'm happy to run with him playing on the Sting. I've got Lukey Metcalf, who will be my second 5'8". My first 5'8", I have no idea. Corey Horsburgh will be there for me. I'm locking him in. And I've got Haliasima at the moment. There is a world where I add some more guys in. But yeah, they're the ones I've got at the moment.
Yes. I have Nico Hines. Obviously, I've got RTS too. He's been locked in my side as soon as I saw him named on the wing for that first trial game. Tomorrow, I'm sort of tossing and turning between sort of him and McLean still about how that all pans out.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, unless we can get a bloody bit of word on the ground, is that the Raids play first, so we're not going to know what's going on there, which is not ideal.
Yeah, it's not great.
Metcalf as well for me, very, very keen on him. I've said 1,000 times this preseason, but I think he's the value play at 5'8", the one that is undervalued in my eyes. The Red Dog, big red Corey Horsburgh. So yeah, and then Vormager, I've got on my bench at 12 at the moment. I'm concerned about all that, but I'll probably run with one of them.
Yeah.
But a little bit nervy there. So, yeah, that's how we're looking at the moment, Roo.
Unreal. All right. Yeah, guys, make sure you go and join the Beers and Breakevens League 295466. And shout out to Bluewealth Property for putting up those big $5,000 dues for you guys, the winner to take that home there. And shout out to Lawntower, our new major sponsor for season 2025. Always good to bring new sponsors on board. The fellas have been fantastic. Shout out to your boys, Adam and Andrew. It's been unreal the first few weeks, and looking forward to the future.
Friggin' oath, mate. I wonder if we can get into hooks up with a bit of internet at Allegiant Stadium.
Ooh, no, not overseas. Australia only.
If we get that here, bloody hell.
Well, mate, now that I'm
chill about reception, put it that way.
Now that I'm on the MGM Wi-Fi, I am desperately missing Lawntel because it's she's steady going.
She is steady going.
She's not moving over quick.
Obviously, a later drop this week, the podcast, you're in transit, be going on, but we'll be back to normal, resuming next week, Wednesday at 3 p.m.
3 p.m. How good. Thanks for joining us once again, guys. We're going to go out and hit the streets and go out for a few days again, enjoy ourselves. We've got a blackjack table calling for us.
Yeah, we were running hot last night.
Yeah, it's time to hit form again. All right, thank you, guys. See you next time on Beers and Breakevens.